This may not look like a carrot cake, but it is a carrot cake. It's my carrot cake, and it's very different from the richly sweet and loftily layered American original. In fact, nubbly with crystallized ginger and walnuts and gloriously adorned with them, it does look rather more like a cozy old-fashioned English tea time treat, and I often eat it like that. But even more often I bring it out at the end of dinner, and it's one of my most successful puddings. I have yet to make it without someone asking for the recipe. My carrot cake is relaxingly simple to make, just a bowl and a wooden spoon number. I start off by coarsely grating 200 grams of carrots and chopping up 75 grams of crystallized ginger. Then I break up 100 grams of walnut halves into small pieces. Next, I want 200 grams of plain flour, half a teaspoon of bicarb, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. And now for the warm spice. 2 teaspoons of ground ginger and just fork everything together. Moving on, I tip 175 grams of soft light brown sugar into a large mixing bowl and crack over 2 eggs, then pour in 200 ml of vegetable oil. These just need to be mixed together. Then I gradually add the dry ingredients and stir until everything's combined. Into the bowl go my grated carrots, and I stir these in before adding the walnut pieces and then the golden chopped crystallized ginger. Once everything's combined, I dollop the mixture into a lined 20cm springform tin. I give it a good wrap on the counter to help level the batter. I bake it in the oven at 170 degrees for about 45 minutes, then I leave it to cool before I start on the icing. Just as with the traditional carrot cake, I'm making a cream cheese icing. I start off with 100 grams of soft, unsalted butter and 100 grams of icing sugar. I'm going to beat these together. And now a teaspoon of corn flour. This helps the icing stay nice and thick. And I want 100 grams of cream cheese, but this has to be cold, straight from the fridge. And give it a little mix so it's combined. And this is no ordinary cream cheese icing because I want everything shot through with ginger. And I don't know if I've ever shown you my ginger juicing trick, but it's a crucial part of my cooking life. So coarsely grate some ginger out onto a plate. And what about a tablespoonful? And now, not pretty, but effective, a piece of kitchen paper. Moving swiftly, I don't want to get the paper soggy straight away. I draw up each corner, so I've got like a little swag bag, and just press on, and you can see that juice coming out. I should get about a teaspoon of juice from a tablespoonful of coarsely grated ginger, and it is so intense. I do this all the time on soups and stews and curries and cakes. Right, let's give it a little stir together. And all that's left for me to do is swirl this on top of the cake. The thing about this cake, as I said, it's not a traditional carrot cake. It almost looks like a blonde fruit cake here, all rather lovely, lumpy and bumpy. And there's only one layer of icing, which I think is perfect. A generous layer. I've got a few more chopped walnuts, And a little more crystallized ginger chopped up my sleeve, and these get scattered on top. Utterly gorgeous. Instant eat me appeal, if you ask me. And even if you don't, pale gold sparkle. Oh, and it's an absolute winner every time. First off, I scoop the pulp, seeds and all, out of 4 passion fruit. Then I whisk 300 ml of double cream until thickened but not stiff. When I'm happy with the consistency of the whipped cream, I add the fragrant passion fruit. Now I pour in 4 teaspoons of orange liqueur, which seems to bring out the flavour of the passion fruit so well. Then I very enjoyably crumble in 8 shopboard meringue nests. I want a mixture of small pieces and sugary dust. Then I gently fold everything together. Spoon this mixture into a loaf tin, drapingly lined with cling film, pressing down on it as you go. Then wrap the tin well before putting it in the freezer overnight. And that's all there is to it. My passion fruit ice cream cake has a partner in crime, and that just happens to be a rather fabulous coconut caramel sauce. And for that I need 50 grams of soft unsalted butter, and then 50 grams of caster sugar. And 50 grams also of soft light brown sugar. And finally, about the same weight of golden syrup. Come on, baby. Let this melt now. Going to give it a little swirl just to help matters along. Just going to give it a little stir to make sure there are no lumps. And if I can leave it alone for a moment, I'm going to let it come to a simmer. It is bubbling away here like honeycomb. Get it off the hob just for a moment, and into this cauldron of bubbling caramel, I'm going to add 250 millilitres of coconut cream. Let's give it a bit of a swirl. Don't worry if it doesn't look very smooth at this stage. All will come good, better than good. So back on the heat. Now it's come to a bubble, and as you can see, it sort of spurts and pops like one of those dancing fountains that children just love running through and getting drenched. Once this is done, I will pour it into a jug, and then it can cool. And I'm ready to slice the ice. So you can see why I added this overhang. I can just lift the ice cream cake out. I normally don't go in for individual plating, but this ice cream is so dreamy and soft, and I don't want it to start melting. So I treat it as a bit of a cut and come again number. There we are. So first cut, you know the rest. has almost an Italian semi-freddo texture. And the rest I can wrap up and stash in the freezer for greedy people. And I'm going to drizzle on the coconut caramel now, just a little bit, because there'll be plenty more on the table for people to help themselves. That's perfect. I don't think it matters whether it goes on thinly or thickly. Covering myself because obviously uniformity is not one of my strengths. Right, they're done and I don't need this now, so I'm not silver service, so I can't take them all on my arm, so 2 for now, and I'll be back for the rest and my wine. A traditional plain-baked cheesecake is a force for good in the world, and I wouldn't begin to deny it. In fact, I can feel the weight of disapproval of several generations of Eastern European antecedents over the fact I have been making a cheesecake that is not baked, just left to set in the fridge, and moreover, it's got white chocolate in it, but I am neither repentant nor defensive, and why should I be, when my white chocolate cheesecake is just that good? Instead of a regular digestive base, for this cheesecake I use ginger nuts, and I put 175 grams of them in a sturdy freezer bag, seal, and bash them into crumbs with a rolling pin. Very satisfactory. I tip these into a bowl, pour over 50 grams of melted unsalted butter, and simply mix together with a fork. This damp, sandy mixture goes into a 20cm springform tin. I press down on it to form the base, pushing up the sides a little. This now just needs to go into the fridge to firm up a bit. So the base is done and I'm going to get on with the filling, which starts with some cream cheese. I am going to be quite strict about this, which is the cream cheese must be full fat and it must be at room temperature. If you disobey on either count, you just won't get the requisite tongue-kissingly smooth texture. And that would be too much of a disappointment for any of us to bear. Now I've got 200 grams of white chocolate that I've melted, and I just let it stand a bit so that it's cooler, but you can see it's still liquid. And this is white chocolate made for cooking with because it melts more easily. You can see it's flecked with vanilla. I'm going to give a gentle fold. It is an unorthodox way of making a cheesecake, I do admit. But I really think it's one of the best cheesecakes I've ever eaten. And all white chocolate haters are equally smitten. It really is as easy as 1, 2, 3, with 1 being the cream cheese, 2 being the white chocolate, and 3 being double cream. 300 mils of it, lightly whipped. I want it thickened but not holding its shape. That's perfect. In it goes. And a gentle fold yet again. Nothing very strenuous here. Now I could stop there, but I won't. There's vanilla in the white chocolate as it is, but it's been blanketed somewhat by the double cream, so I'm going to add a little more, just a teaspoon. And although there is already a bit of tang from the cream cheese, I really think you need sharpness in a cheesecake. So I've got lemon juice, again, just a teaspoon. And then the last bit of folding. And the gingery base is ready. I'm going to softly dollop the white chocolate cheesecake filling on top. Just trying to smooth the top. And that's about as smooth as someone as clumsy and as impatient as me is going to get it. So this needs to set in the fridge. Now, I do love this plain and unadorned, but it is utterly gorgeous, sprinkled with tender green nibbed or else chopped pistachios. When I was in Kansas City a couple of years back, I went into a cafe there and had the most wonderful mini lemon bundt cakes. And yes, I do take a photograph of everything I eat. Well, in fact, I ate a lot of them because I had very serious research to do. So when I got back home, I played with the recipe and came up with this. Starting off with 225 grams of plain flour, I add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and half a teaspoon of bicarb, then finally 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And just fork them together. That's the dry ingredients done. And now into a batter jug goes 275 grams of coconut milk. I spoon the thick bit out first, then pour in the liquid. To this, I add 150 grams of caster sugar. I now need 150 ml of vegetable oil and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I finally grate in the fragrant zest of 2 lemons. I also need 3 tablespoons of juice, which is about 1 lemon's worth. Then I just stir to mix. And now it's just a matter of adding the wet ingredients to the dry. I do realise it all goes a bit greige at this point. I suppose if you're unused to making eggless cakes, you do miss the goldenness of the yolks, but do not fear. This is one sensational cake once it's baked. Pour the batter into a 20cm springform tin and give it about 30 minutes in an oven at 180 degrees. The cake is baked and it can sit here calmly while I, equally serenely, get on with my blueberry compote. I've got 150 grams of blueberries and I want a tablespoon of caster sugar. And now the same amount of lemon juice. Gonna have to hope I don't get pips when I do this, because I'm squeezing straight onto the spoon. My lucky day. Finally into the pan before it goes on the heat, 50 ml of cold water. Let's give it a bit of a swirl to let the sugar dissolve. And now on the heat, so this needs to come to a bubble now, which won't take long. And these garnet glossy juices need to be thickened. And for that, I need some corn flour, a small amount, just 1.5 teaspoons. And exactly the same amount of cold water to slake it. The blueberries have started to soften now, so I don't need to cook them any further. I just need to thicken them, adding my corn flour and water. This will take the barest moment. And just like that, my beaded berry glaze is ready. Look at this, the colour of 1940s nail varnish and just as glossy. I'll leave this to cool and thicken and top the cake with it just at the very last moment. So, unclip the cake and turn it out here. And now, the unveiling. Before the compote goes on the cake, I'm going to slather it with this coconut milk yogurt. I've got 250 grams here. Such a cooling balm after the peppiness of the salsa spike curry. I need to add a couple of things. First, some vanilla, just a teaspoon. Stir that in quickly. Not too quickly. I love this. And then some icing sugar. I've got 2½ teaspoons here. I'll push it through the tea strainer. Don't want any lumps. And now I shall spoon the sweetly vanilla-scented coconut milk yogurt over the upended cake. And the yogurt on it like this makes every mouthful taste even softer, lighter, and fluffier. If any yogurt starts to creep down the side of the cake, don't worry about it. I mean, I think it looks rather charming. Now my compote, I'm going to thrash it a bit with a fork just to help it spread on. And then with this incredibly white yogurt serving as a frame, I'm going to dollop this in the middle. It's all looking a bit 1970s, but I rather like that.